Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sakrashatam Sakana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitangscha Om Agyana Timranjasya Gananjana Salakaya Chakshur Malitanyana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Purvavishta Suparakam Guru Ganera Shisha Sambhushitam Chincha Samashtavedani Punam Shri Rupa Pantanagam Govinda Bidamujvalam Bharatanam Bhakti Amitam Sundaram Vande Vishwaguruncha Divya Bhagavat Premnohi Vijapradam Vancha Kalpa Turubhischa Kripa Sindhubevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnabhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Good morning from Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mission in Salt Lake City, Utah. We are continuing with the reading from Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur's Sri Chaitanya Baghavata. We are currently still in Adhikanda Part 1. We are in Chapter 4. I will continue where Divya Shakti Didi left off yesterday. This looks like this is the pastime when young Nimai was stolen by the thieves. Nimai had many jewels and gold jewelry. So the thieves came and they took him on their heads like on piggyback, let's go for a little walk. But Mahaprabhu, with his illusory energy, he tricked them so that they ended up bringing him back, making like a big circle, and ending up back at their house. I'm just going to repeat some of this. Okay, so they discovered the Lord was missing. Being influenced by the Lord's illusory energy, the thieves lost their way and returned to the house of Jagannath Mishra while thinking that they had returned to their own home. When the thieves thought they had returned to their own house, they prepared to steal the Lord's ornaments. One of them said, "Please get down, my dear child. We have reached home." The Lord replied, Yes, put me down quickly." Meanwhile, Jagannath Mishra and his associates held their heads in lamentation. The thieves, illusioned by Maya, set the child down at that very place while considering that it was their own house. The Lord immediately went to the lap of his father, and everyone chanted the name of Hari in great joy. The people's condition was beyond description. It was as if their lives returned to their bodies. The thieves then realized that it was not their house, but they could not understand where they were. In the middle of the commotion, no one saw what had happened. Thus, undetected, the thieves ran away in fear. Both the thieves thought, "How strange." One of them said, "Did someone perform some magic on us?" They both concluded, "Goddess Chandi has saved us today." Then, after they regained their composure, they embraced each other. In reality, the two thieves were most fortunate, for they had carried the Supreme Personality of Godhead on their shoulders. In the meantime, everyone thought, "Who brought him back? Tie some new cloth on his head as a gift." Someone said, "I saw two persons come here. They set the child down and then vanished." Ami ani nachi kona jana nahi bole, adbhuta dekhiya shabe padilena bole. Since no one said, "I brought him," everyone became perplexed. Sabe jijna shena bapa kehatani mai, ketomara anila paiya kontani. Tani. They all asked Nimai, "Dear child, please tell us, who brought you here? Where did he find you?" Prabhu bole ami giya chinu gangatire, pata haraiya ami vedai nagare. The Lord replied, "I went to the bank of the Ganges and then lost my way." Tabedui jana ama koleta kariya kon pate ekane tuila aniya. As I was wandering on the street, 2 strangers took me in their arms and brought me here. Sabebole mischa kabu nahe shastravani taiva rake shishu vrinda anata apani. Everyone said that the statements of the scriptures cannot be false. It is said that children as well as old and helpless people are protected by providence. E mata vichara karena sarvajane Vishnu maya mohe keha tattva nahi jane. In this way, the people considered what had happened, but they could not know the facts due to being illusioned by Lord Vishnu's illusory energy. E mata rangakare vaikuntera rai ke tanra janita pare ari na janai. In this way, the Lord of Vaikuntha performed amazing pastimes. Who can understand those pastimes unless the Lord reveals them? Veda gopya e saba akyana yesune tanra drita bhakti hoy Chaitanya charane. Whoever hears these topics, which are confidential to even the Vedas, will certainly attain firm devotion for the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Chandajana Vrindavana Dasatachu Padayuga Gana. Accepting Sri Chaitanya and Nityananda Prabhu as my life and soul, I, Vrindavan Das, sing the glories of their lotus feet. Thus ends the English translation of the Gaudiya Bhasya of Sri Chaitanya Baghavata, Chapter 4, entitled Name-Giving Ceremony, Childhood Pastimes, and Thieves Kidnap the Lord. So we will begin Chapter 5, which is entitled Eating the Mendicant Brahman's Offerings. This chapter describes Sachi and Jagannath Mishra hearing the sound of ankle bells and seeing wonderful footprints inside their house, and Gaura Gopal's eating the wonderful mendicant's food. One day, Sri Jagannath Mishra ordered his son to bring a book from the house. As Nimai went in the house to bring the book, Sachi and Jagannath heard the pleasing sound of ankle bells. After Vishwambara brought the book and went out to play, the Brahmin couple saw footprints marked with a flag, thunderbolt, goad, and banner in their house. But due to the nature of paternal affection, they could not understand that those footprints belonged to their own jewel-like son. Rather, they concluded that their family deity, Sri Damodar Shalagram, had walked about their house unseen. Thinking in this way, they arranged an abhishek, a special offering, and worship for their deity, Lord Damodar. On another day, a mendicant Brahmin who worshipped Bala Gopal became a guest at the house of Jagannath Mishra. After completing his cooking, the Brahmin offered Lord Krishna the foodstuffs in meditation. In order to bestow mercy on the devoted Brahmin, Gaura Gopal came there and ate a handful of the rice offering. Seeing the boy eat the food that he had offered to Krishna, the mendicant Brahmin shouted, "This naughty boy has spoiled the offering!" When Jagannath Mishra heard this, he prepared to beat the boy in anger, but he was stopped by the Brahmin's request. Jagannath Mishra then requested the Brahmin to again cook and offer for Krishna. At the suggestion of those present, Mother Sachi Devi took the boy to the neighbor's house until the Brahmin finished eating. Meanwhile, the Brahmin cooked for the second time and then offered the foodstuffs to Bala Gopal in meditation. At that moment, Sri Gaura Sundar, the predominating deity of the mind, bewildered everyone with his yogamaya potency, came before the Brahmin and began to eat the offering. When the Brahmin again loudly shouted, "The offering is spoiled!" Jagannath Mishra became even more angry at Nimai. Thereafter, on the special request of Vishwarup, Vishwambara's elder brother, the Brahmin agreed to cook again. All the relatives then sat around the Lord in a room, and Jagannath Mishra sat at the doorway to ensure that the naughty boy could not spoil the offering again. Jagannath Mishra and the others even considered binding the boy with ropes. When the child Gaura Hari displayed his pastimes of yoga nidra, mystic sleep, inside the room, everyone felt relieved. Then, since it was late at night, everyone fell asleep. When the Brahman meditated on offering the foodstuffs to Balagopal for the third time, Gauragopal again came and ate the offering. Sri Sundar then appeared before the Brahman in a four-armed form, holding conch, disc, club, and lotus. He ate butter with one hand from a pot, held in another hand, and with two other hands he played the flute. After appearing in that wonderful form along with his own abode, the Lord bestowed unlimited mercy on the pious Brahman. He explained to the Brahman his own identity, the Brahman's position as his eternal servant, and the cause of his incarnation. And then the Lord forbade the Brahman from disclosing these secret topics to anyone. After this incident, the Brahman would beg alms here and there during the day, but one time every day he would visit the house of Jagannath Mishra in Navadip to see his worshipable Lord. Jaya Jaya Bhakta Priya Prabhu Vishwambara Dwaja Vraja Kushapada Maheshwara. All glories to the devotees, beloved Lord Vishwambar, whose lotus feet are marked with the flag, thunderbolt, and goad. He is the Lord of all lords. Hena Mate Ache Prabhu Jagannatha Gare Alakshita Bahuvidha Swapakashakare. In this way, the Lord secretly manifested various pastimes while residing in the house of Jagannath Mishra. Ekadina Dakibole Mishra Purandara Amara Pushtaka Ana Bapa Vishwambara. One day, Jagannath Mishra called to Vishwambara, "My dear son, please bring my book." Bapara Vachana Suni Garedana Yaya Runujuna Kariye Nupura Bajepaya. Hearing his father's words, Vishwambara ran into the room, and the sound of ankle bells was heard as he moved. Sri Sundar began to manifest his unlimitedly variegated pastimes of Vaikuntha that surpassed the material intelligence and vision of ordinary people. Mishra Bole Kota Shuni Nuperera Dvani Chaturdike Chaya Dui Brahmana Brahmani. Jagannath Mishra said, "From where is the sound of ankle bells coming?" The Brahmin couple then began to look around. Amara Putrera Paya Nahika Nupura Gotaya Bajile Vaja Nupura Madhurya. My son is not wearing ankle bells, so where has the sweet sound of ankle bells come from? Ki adbhuta dui jane mane mane gane vachana nashpure dui janera vadane. They both considered the incident to be most strange, and they were unable to speak. Puntidiya Prabhu Kali Lena Kelaite Ara Adbhuta Deki Giya Grihara Majete. The Lord gave the book to his father and then went outside to play. But when the couple went inside the room, they experienced another wonder. Sabe grihe deki aparupa parachina dwaja braja anukusha patakari bina bina. All over the room they saw extraordinary footprints decorated with signs like the flag, thunderbolt, goad, and banner. Anandita donhe deki apurva charana donhe hoila pulakita sajala nayana. They both became filled with ecstasy on seeing those incomparable footprints. Their hairs stood on end, and tears flowed from their eyes. Pada padme deki donhe kare namaskara donhe bole nishtarimu janma nahi ara. They both offered obeisances to those lotus footprints and said, "We are delivered. We will not take another birth." One who even once sees the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu is delivered from material existence. In other words, such a person attains the supreme destination known as that plane from which no one returns. It is stated in the Vishnu Dharmotara. Tavad Brahmanti samsare manusya mandabhuvaya budhaya yavad rupam na pashanti keshavasha mahatmana. A less intelligent person continually wanders in the cycle of birth and death as long as he does not see the form of Keshava. Understanding this, the Brahmin couple, who considered themselves ordinary persons, spoke in this way. Mishra bole shuna vishvarupera janani grita paramana radhaya apani. Jagannath Mishra said, "Listen, mother of Vishvarup, go and cook some fried rice with ghee for our shalagram." It says paramana. I thought paramana was sweet rice, but it's translated as fried rice. Gare ye achena damodara shalagrama pancha gavya sakale karamu tanesnana. Tomorrow morning I will bathe our Damodar shalagram with pancha gavya. Bujilana tenhogare bulena apane ataiva shunilana nuperer dvani. I can understand that our shalagram is walking around the room. That is why we heard the sound of ankle bells. E matadui jane parama harishe shalagrama pujakare prabhu manehashe. In this way, they both worshipped Shalagram Shila with great satisfaction, and the Lord smiled within. Ara eka kata shuna parama adbhuta ye ranga karila prabhu Jagannatha sutta. Now please hear another wonderful pastime performed by the son of Jagannath. Parama sukriti eka tartika brahmana krishnara udeshakare tirta paryatana. One most pious mendicant Brahman was wandering to various holy places in search of Krishna. Sad akshara gopala mantrera kare upashana gopala naiveja vina nakare bojana. He worshipped the Lord with the 6-syllable Gopal mantra, and he would eat only what he had first offered to Gopal. Daive Bhagyavan Tirtha Brahmite Ashiya Milila Vipra Prabhura Badite. In the course of visiting the various holy places, that fortunate Brahman arrived by providence at the house of the Lord. Could someone bring me a cup of water, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Kante Bala Gopala Bhushana Shalagrama Parama Brahmanye Teja Ati Anupama. That matchless effulgent Brahman had a deity of Bala Gopal and a Shalagram Shila hanging from his neck. Niravadhi Mukhe Vipra Krishna Krishna Bole Antare Govinda Rase Dui Chakshudule. He constantly chanted the name of Krishna while he kept his eyes half closed and internally relished ecstatic love for Govinda. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Deki Jagannatha Mishra Tejan Se Tanhara Sambrame Utiya Karilena Namaskara. When Jagannath Mishra saw the effulgent Brahman, he respectfully stood up and then offered obeisances. Atiti Vyabhara Dharma Yena Mate Hoya Sabha Karilena Jagannatha Mahashaya. Jagannath Mishra received the Brahman with the etiquette due to a guest. A stranger who stays in a householder's residence for one day and leaves the next is called atiti, or guest. The householders have the opportunity to serve such guests for only one day. It is the Vyavahar Dharma, or rule of etiquette, for a householder to serve his guests. Honoring guests is as good as serving the spiritual master. In other words, a guest is as worshipable as Lord Narayan. Apane kariyatana paraprakshalana bashite dilena ani uttama ashana. He personally washed the Brahman's feet and then offered him a proper seat. Shushtahoy vashilena yadi vipravara tabetane mishra jijna shena kotagara. After the Brahman was comfortably seated, Jagannath Mishra asked him, "Where is your residence?" Viprabole ami udashina deshantari chitera vikshepa matra paryatanakari. The Brahman replied, "I am a wandering mendicant. I go wherever my restless mind takes me." Pranati karya mishra bolena vachana jagatera bhagye se tomara paryatana. With folded hands, Jagannath Mishra said, "Your traveling is for the benefit of the world." Mahavichalana nritnam grininam dena chetasham nishreyashaya bhagavan kalpate na yata kvachit. This is a verse from Śrīmad Bhagavatam. "O my Lord, O great devotee, persons like you move from one place to another, not for their own interest, but for the sake of poor-hearted grihastas, householders. Otherwise, they have no interest in going from one place to another." Visheshata Visheshataha aji amara parama shobhagya ajna deha randa nera karidiya karya. Today I am especially fortunate. Please order me, and I will go arrange for your cooking. Viprabole kara mishra ye icha tomara harisha karila mishra divya upahara randhanera shtana upashkari balamate dilena sakala saja randhana karite. The Brahman replied, "Please do whatever you feel suitable." Jagannath Mishra then happily arranged all sorts of palatable ingredients. Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi nicely cleaned the kitchen and kept all the ingredients ready for cooking. Santoshe Brahmanavara Karya Randana Vashilena Krishnera Karite Nivedana. Satisfied with the arrangements, the Brahman cooked and then sat down to make an offering to Krishna. Sarva Bhuta Antaryami Shri Sachinandana Manayache Viprara Dibena Darashana. Shri Sachinandan, the super soul of all living entities, then decided to give darshan to the Brahman. Jana Matra Karite La Gila Vipravara Shamukhe Oila Prabhu Shri Gora Sundara. As soon as the great Brahman began to meditate, Shri Gora Sundar came before him. Dulamaya Sarva Anga Murti Digambara Aruna Nayanakara Jadana Sundara. The Lord was naked, and all of his limbs were covered with dust. His eyes were reddish, and his hands and feet were most beautiful. So as soon as the great Brahman began to meditate, Shri Gora Sundar came before him. The Lord was naked, and all of his limbs were covered with dust. His eyes were reddish, and his hands and feet were most beautiful. Hashiya viprarana loya shikari ekagrasa kailena deki vipravari. The Lord smiled and took a handful of the Brahman's rice. He then ate the rice as the Brahman watched. So the Brahman is offering in meditation his what he has prepared to Lord Krishna. So he doesn't know Mahaprabhu is Lord Krishna. So he's seeing a little Mahaprabhu, little Nimai, coming and eating his rice. So you can think that he would be a little upset about it. Haya haya kari bhagyavanta vipradake anakuri kari leka Chanchala balake. The fortunate Brahmin cried out, "Alas, alas, this naughty boy has stolen the rice." Ashiya dekena Jagannatha Mishra Vara Bhataka Kaya Hasa Prabhu Sri Gora Sundara. Jagannath Mishra came there and saw Sri Gora Sundar was smiling as he ate the Brahman's rice. Krode Mishra Doya Yayena Maribare Sabrame Utiya Vipra Darilena Kare. In anger, Jagannath Mishra rushed to beat the Lord. The Brahman, however, got up and apprehensively caught hold of Jagannath Mishra's hand. So Jagannath Mishra was very much ashamed because he as a householder, it's his, and not just because he's a householder, but also because he's feeling that, it's very, the Brahman has come to his house and he's desiring to serve him very nicely and make sure that everything is just right. But now his son has disturbed the Brahman's offering, so then he's getting very upset with his son. And he's going to beat him.
How old was the Lord?
I'm not sure, but I'm thinking maybe like 6 or 7, like that. 6, maybe 5 or 6. Yeah, that's my guess. So in anger, Jagannath Mishra rushed to beat the Lord. The Brahman, however, got up apprehensively, caught hold of Jagannath Mishra's hand. Vipra boli Mishra tumi bada deki arya kon jnana balakera Maria ki karya. Mishra, you are supposed to be a cultured Aryan. What is the use of beating this ignorant boy? The Brahman said, "O Mishra, you are elderly and respectable, and he is only a foolish child, so it is not worthwhile to punish him for his foolishness." Balamanda Gyanayara Taki Maritare Amara Sapata Yadi Maraha Uhare. Only one who can distinguish between right and wrong can be beat. Therefore, I forbid you from beating this child. Duke Vashilena Mishra Hasta Diyashire Mata Nahi Tole Mishra Vachana Nashpure. Jagannath Mishra then sat down in distress, holding his head with his hands. He could not speak or lift his head, so he's feeling quite devastated that this has happened, that some offense has been caused by his son to this Brahmin, and it's a very serious matter, actually. We don't want to cause any offense to the Brahmin, and so he's like really, oh, what have I done? What has my son done? What's going to happen? Viprabole Mishra Dukkha Nabhaviyamane Yedina Yehabe Taha Ishwara Sejane. The Brahmin said, "My dear Mishra, please don't feel sad. Whatever is meant to happen on a particular day is known only to the Lord." A person gets only the food that has been allotted to him by the will of the Supreme Lord. One must know that the Supreme Lord alone gives one the fruits of one's activities. A living entity is unaware of the future. Whatever is unknown to the living entity is known to the Supreme Lord. Phala mula adigrihe ye take tomara anideha ajitaha kariba ahara. Please bring whatever fruits and roots are there in your house, and I will eat those today. Mishra bole more yadi take brita jnana arabara paka kara kari dena shtana. Jagannath Mishra said, "If you at all consider me your servant, then please cook again. I will make all arrangements." So he's begging them now, please just, you cook again and I'll take care of everything. One should carefully study the humble statements befitting a Vaishnava that Jagannath Mishra spoke to his Vaishnava guest. Grihe ache randanera sakala sambara punapaka karas tabe shantosha amara. We have all the ingredients for cooking in the house. Please cook again, then I will feel satisfied. Bali, that's Jagannath is appealing to the Brahmin, because the Brahmin said, "Oh, just bring some fruits, bring some roots. I'll just eat whatever you have, no worries." And then Jagannath says, "No, please, you cook again. I'll take care of everything. We have all the ingredients." Balite lagila yata ishta bandagana Amisaba Chahitabe Karaha Randana. All the friends and relatives of Jagannath Mishra present there also requested the Brahman, please be merciful on us and cook again. Vipra bole ye icha toma sabakara kariba randana sarvataya punarbara. The Brahman said, all right, according to your desire, I will certainly cook again. So we can't really fully understand these things because it's not our culture, really. But, the Vedic culture is very, has, these etiquette and these traditions and these special interactions, this way of worshiping and giving honor. And the one is honoring the Brahman or the Vaishnava, as a guest and treating them properly and feeding them and that kind of thing. Harisa hoila sabe vipra vachane shtana upashkari lena sabe tatakshane. Everyone there was happy to hear the Brahman's decision, and they immediately cleaned the kitchen. Radhanera sajani dilena tvarite Jali lena vipravara radhana karite. They quickly assembled all the ingredients, and the Brahman began to cook. Sabe bolena shishu parama chanchala arabara pache nashta karaye sakala. Everyone concluded, this child is very restless and may spoil the offering again. Randana bojana vipra karina yavat arabari laye shishu rakkaha tavat. Therefore, please take him to another house until the Brahman finishes cooking and eating. Tabe sachi devi putra kole ta kariya chali lena arabadi prabhura laiya. Sachi Devi then took her son in her arms and went to the neighbor's house. So maybe he was a little younger, maybe even. Maybe he was 3 or 4. I don't know. She took him in her arms, so maybe he's a little younger. Saba narigana bole shuna re nimai emata karya ki vipera anakai. All the ladies there said, listen, Nimai, you shouldn't have eaten the Brahman's rice like that. Now he's getting chastised. Hasya bolena prabhu Sri Chandra vadane amara kidosha vipra dakila apane. The Lord smiled with his moon-like face and replied, what is my fault? The Brahman called me. Sabe bolena aye nimai dangati ki kariba eba ye tomara gela jati votakara brahmanan kon kula keba chine tarabata kaya jati rakiba kemane. Everyone then said, oh deceitful Nimai, what will you do now that you have lost your caste? Who knows that Brahman? What is his caste? Where is he from? Now that you have eaten his rice, how will you maintain your caste? Hasya kahena prabhu amiye goyala brahmanera anami kai sarvakala. The Lord smiled and said, I am a cowherd boy, and I always eat Brahman's rice. Oh my gosh. The Lord replied, I belong to the cowherd community, so I always eat foodstuffs given by the Brahmins. From this statement, it is established both that the Lord is the knower of past, present, and future, and that the Lord is controlled by the Brahmins. Furthermore, his mischievous cowherd boy nature is also established. Brahmanera aneki gopera yati yaya etabale hashiya sabara prabhukchaya. How can a cowherd boy lose his caste by eating a Brahman's rice? Saying this, the Lord looked at everyone and smiled. Chale nija tattva prabhu karena vyakhyana tatapi na bujekena hena mayatana. In this way, the Lord revealed his identity while speaking deceptively. but by the influence of his Maya, no one could understand him. Sabe hashena shuni prabhura vachana, baksha haite edita kaharona himana. Everyone laughed upon hearing the Lord's explanation. No one wanted to set him down from their embrace. Hasya yaena prabhu ye janara kole, se jana ananda sagara muje bule. As the Lord smiled and sat on various people's laps, whoever held him merged in an ocean of bliss. Okay, so what's going to happen now that the Brahmin is cooking again and he's going to make another offering, so we have to wait till tomorrow to find out what's going to happen. Of course, we already heard the summary of the chapter, so we know what's going to happen, but we will continue. Haridev, did you want to read? What are you reading now?
Divine Guidance still.
Oh, you're still reading Divine Guidance? Okay. Okay. So I'm going to stop there. Dandavat to everyone. And Haridev Prabhu is going to continue reading with Divine Guidance.
I'm going to sit there.
Okay.
Dandavat pranams. Good morning, dear devotees. Now the weather in Salt Lake City is kind of sad, but it's good because it's raining and it feels like kind of purifying the air. Just like when we read the scriptures, it's kind of similar effect in our heart. Divine Guidance by His Divine Grace Swami Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. I think today we're gonna finish reading the book Divine Guidance, which it has been quite a journey. Govinda Maharaj has taken us into a deep reflection about what real Krishna consciousness is. It's not superficial at all. It's more deep than we think it is. And it's so deep that our mundane circumstance cannot reach that depth. But there is actually a way. And that way is a divine guidance. A divine guidance with a proper mood. And it's Govinda Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, who is giving us both the divine guidance and the proper mood. And it's been a beautiful journey because we all know how difficult practicing Krishna consciousness is. It's not about how it looks, but internally how we are facing the obstacles. Srila Gurudev says, there's always going to be trouble. There's always going to be foggy. It's going to be foggy. There's not going to be sunlight every time. But if you just keep going and remembering that there has been Vaishnavas, souls that have came to help us, and that they have opened the jail doors for us so that we can start running for freedom, because this is what this is. It's a fight, a war for freedom. And we have captains, generals, and we're following their instructions. So just remembering, this is a war, and we have generals, captains. They're instructing us. Therefore, it's normal that there are obstacles. So we just need to move forward. And this is, I think, the best way. Just keep each other's association and read the remember our gurus, remember them, and try to connect with them. That's it, and try to do service the best we can. Jai Srila Gurudev. Question. Okay. What we're reading now are excerpts from letters between devotees and Srila Gurudev. Where we left off the last time was a question that a devotee asked Srila Gurudev. And it was the following question. I am running a purely vegetarian restaurant, but a devotee quoted you as saying that devotional service and business should not be mixed. He also implied that it isn't proper to offer foodstuffs to Sri Guru and Gauranga before serving it out. I have a little trouble to understand this. Please say something on this matter for us. Srila Maharaj replied, regarding your question, I can say that everything depends on the mood of the devotee. The Bhagavata, the Mahabhagavata can see everything to be prasad. But the scripture also says that to give Mahaprasad to those who have no faith is anaparda. By way of example, Harinam can rescue everyone. But if you give it to someone who has no faith, then it is an offense. In a similar way, we can make aparada to Mahaprasad. In a similar way, we can make aparad to Mahaprasad. But it all depends on the mood of those involved. If in a fully conscious way it is made an offered, then distributed to those with faith, that is very good. Mahaprasad means mercy, and we're not to give that in exchange for money, but we can give it in exchange for faith. Jai Mahaprabhu. Mahaprasad means mercy, and we're not to give mercy, that in exchange for money. But we can give it in exchange for faith. However, I am not criticizing Srila Swami Maharaj. That is, I can harmonize it in another way. He wants to engage the whole world in the service of Krishna, and he has the right to break and make the injunctions. That is, he is a Shakti avatar. We can adjust the mood of Srila Swami Maharaj and the traditional rules in this way, where there is no other way to do service to Guru Gauranga. The devotees are doing business, being employed, distributing books, selling cookies, etc. Also running restaurants is one kind of business. So I can harmonize in this way, that after cooking you first offer a little of each preparation of Sri Guru Gauranga, but not mix it back in with the remainder. Also, after taking for the maintenance of your family, you offer the profit money to the service of Sri Guru Vaishnava. And in this way, no reaction will come to you. That is, I say it all depends on the mood in which it is done. The main thing is that your existence must stand in the plane of service. If anyone with Shraddha wants that prasad, you can happily give it to him. That was his clear and assertive answer to the devotee that was asking, I want to do a vegetarian restaurant, but a devotee told me that business and service shouldn't be mixed. And the way Srila Govinda Maharaj replied to this, it was by contrasting it with Srila Prabhupada's service in the West in general, how he will engage his devotees in the business of Krishna consciousness by selling cookies, distributing books, them being employed and them offering their income to the temples. So that Govinda Maharaj concluded, after contrasting Srila Swami Maharaj service, that it all depends on the mood. The main thing is that your existence must stand in the plane of service. Alright. Next question. In the purport of verses 524 and 25 of Sri Brahma Samhita, it is stated that the Gopal mantra has two aspects. One, to fulfill the pure spiritual desires of pure devotees, culminating in Krishna Prema, and two, to also fulfill the mundane desires of the mixed devotees. Considering myself a mixed devotee, I am asking you if I may chant this Gopal mantra. I am already initiated into the Gayatri mantra, which contains the Gopal mantra. May I chant this Gopal mantra like Japamala or in my mind incessantly? Srila Gurudev replied, regarding the Gopal mantra, you can refer to this verse. Bhoga moksha bamcha chari harinam aire na cheyo namera gune osava pala paire. When we will chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra or meditate upon the Krishna or Gopal mantra without asking for anything except the transcendental service to Krishna under guidance of Sri Gurudev, that will be a real benefit for everybody. And what good things are needed for us will come automatically. But if any mundane desire will come and mix with that devotional mood, that must hamper the pure devotion. Srila Rupa Goswami said, Aya vilashita sunyam jnana karmadya anarvitam anukulinya Krishna sushilan. I am so sorry. I'm going to read the verse again, and I apologize for not being able to pronounce the Sanskrit properly or Bengali properly. Aya vilashita sunyam jnana karmadi anarvitam Anukulenya Krishna nu Shilanam Bhaktir Uttama. You can consult with that shloka and can understand what is what. It is in Sri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Also Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, Voga moksha vanchachari harinam gaire Naseyo namera gune osava palapaire. You can chant the Gopal mantra constantly. That is no problem. But in this age of Kali Yuga, Harinam is a Mahamantra and of all mantras is the best. Harinam is for everything, but the Gopal mantra is for meditation. Question. Well, I think that was the answer of Srila Govinda Maharaj to the question of this devotee. This devotee inquired about the Gopal mantra, and he considers himself a mixed devotee, and he has received already the Gayatri mantra, which contains the Gopal mantra, and that this Gopal mantra can fulfill the mundane desires of mixed devotees. So Srila Gurudev, probably he thought, okay, this devotee, he seems sincere, and probably he's still engaged in mundane desires. So for his benefit, I must remind him that Harinam is a Mahamantra and of all mantras is the best. So don't worry. Gopal mantra is for meditation and Harinam is for everything. Next question. I have been told that Jiva souls who take birth in the mortal world but who later go back to Krishna's abode can also fall down again into the material world. Is this true? Also, I hear from some that the Jiva originally came from the spiritual world, but others say our origin is a marginal position. Dear Gurudev, please help me understand this. Also, please clarify as to whether I may visit other missions if I find their members to be respectful to my Srila Guru Maharaj. Srila Maharaj replied, if anyone from Vaikuntha comes to the material worlds, it is generally only by the will of the Lord. It is, however, given in the scriptures that even a resident of Vaikuntha can fall down if he commits Vaishnava aparada. How was the pronunciation of that, Didi? If he commits Vaishnava aparada. But that also can be seen to be by the will of the Lord, as in the case of the gatekeepers, Jaya and Vijaya. Srila Guru Maharaj was many times approached with this question, and he illustrated clearly that our origin is a marginal potency of the Lord, the Tatastha Shakti. If we become liberated from worldly bondage, as a matter of right, we can enter the marginal plane. But only by grace can we enter the higher planes of Vaikuntha, Vrindavan, etc. In other societies, there are no doubt many good and many respectful souls whose association is good, but it is also true that some have the tendency to criticize our Srila Guru Maharaj, and that is very harmful. To hear criticism of Sri Gurudev is very bad and must be avoided because it strikes at the foundation of spiritual wealth, faith in Sri Guru. The foundation of spiritual wealth is faith in Sri Guru. From another angle, anyone running a mission certainly faces many problems to keep the unity. So, we must always be careful to respect that. And if others may not want us to visit their temple, we will humbly agree to their wish and still keep our respect for those devotees. Ideally, we shall try to keep the association of those who are following our own track of Krishna consciousness. In this way, various devotees are trying hard to make successful ashrams as places for our mats, devotees, to associate happily. So, making a recap of Srila Gurudev's answer, and that this is the devotee question. The devotee asked if a jiva soul take birth in the mortal world but later go back to Krishna's abode, can also fall down again into the material world? Srila Gurudev says, by the will of the Lord, yes. If that's what the Lord wants, yeah. And then the other question was, clarify if I may visit other missions, if I find their members to be respectful to my Srila Guru Maharaj. And Srila Gurudev says, be careful. It's very harmful to be present when there's a tendency to criticize Srila Guru Maharaj, because that is going to strike the foundation of spiritual wealth, faith in Sri Guru. He said that from another angle, anyone running a mission certainly faces many problems to keep the unity. So we must always be careful to respect that. And if others may not want us to visit their temple, we will humbly agree to their wish and still keep our respect for those devotees. Ideally, we should try to keep the association of those who are following our own track of Krishna consciousness. In this way, various devotees are trying hard to make successful ashrams as places for our mats, devotees, to associate happily. Now the next question. As you know, one devotee who has considered to be more senior has fallen away from your mission here. Our question is, how can we avoid similar misfortune befalling ourselves also? Srila Gurudev replied, I am surprised to see the mood of that devotee. He has completely fallen down in the ocean of illusion, but you are all saved by the grace of Srila Guru Maharaj. We can understand that the cause of such fall down is ego and offense to the Vaishnavas. You all please try to avoid Vaishnava aparat and be careful from mundane ego. I have seen in my short life many things, many up and down situations of the practitioner's life. Big personalities up to Brahma Loka have received difficulty in their practice in life due to only the cause of Vaishnava aparat and egoism. Anyhow, our protector and savior, Srila Guru Maharaj, is always bestowing his mercy to us, and we must cross over that dangerous situation. Alright, so even big personalities up to Brahma Loka, that means like out of planet Earth, like even more elevated souls, more realized souls, can still fall down. They still feel difficulty in their practicing life. Why? For two main reasons. Vaishnava aparat, which is offending the devotees, and two, egoism. So Srila Gurudev says to be careful with that, like really. So he's advising us to try to avoid Vaishnava aparat and be careful from mundane ego as much as we can. And then he finishes the paragraph, the response, by saying, anyhow, our protector and savior, Srila Guru Maharaj, is always bestowing his mercy to us, and we must cross over that dangerous situation. We must almost, like it's an advice that Srileka, Divya, Sudarshan Prabhu, they always remind us to pray. And prayer is part of the practice, bandhanam. It's one of the processes of devotion, praying. And Shri Maharaj, he was advising us the past week to get to know our Rupa Nuga Guru Varga through the books, through the prayers, through the songs, and pray to them. Srileka Didi says that the grandfather is always more affectionate than the father, and same, the grandfather is more affectionate than the grandfather. In this way, if we try to connect with our gurus and pray to them, we may gain some strength for them, for their service. So we must try to not offend the devotees. Question. As per your wish, we plan to translate and publish books of Srila Guru Maharaj. We need funds for this. Therefore, we first wish to translate and publish a popular book introducing Indian philosophy. We're asking your permission for this. Srila Gurudev says, for your own continuing practice in life and proper, happy, safe progress, you must try to be devoted exclusively to your Guru for the satisfaction of the beloved Lord. In order to do that, you need some certain line and track to happily proceed. Many things are good in this world, no doubt, but one with exclusive mood will always focus on his own track. That means the books of Srila Guru Maharaj, his instructions, practicing method, etc. And we will follow that. But as a business for the purpose of maintenance, we can consider presenting the books of others, as long as it is not harmful, and that is. I apologize. I'm going to read the idea again because I screwed. All right. Many things are good in this world, no doubt, but one with exclusive mood will always focus on his own track. That means the books of Srila Guru Maharaj, his instruction, practicing method, etc. And we will follow that. But as a business for the purpose of maintenance, we can consider presenting the books of others, as long as it is not harmful and that it does not differ from the conception of our Srila Guru Maharaj. But we cannot sell ourselves in exchange for anything in the mundane world. In this regard, we can remember Srila Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur's advice that we must tolerantly try to serve the Sri Guru Gauranga despite whatever may come. Love or rupture or anything may come, but we're to proceed in our track. That is very important. So, Srila Gurudev mentioned that, many things are good in this world. And since many things are good in this world, meaning they can be utilized for the service of the Lord. We all have different abilities and skills, qualities, and we can either use them for exploitation or for devotion. This second one is extremely difficult. We don't even know what that is. The first one, we are professionals, professional exploitators of our qualities and other people's qualities. So Srila Gurudev says many things are good in this world, but there are qualities and there are qualities. And the real qualities are qualities that we do not have, we do not possess. And what are those qualities? Those are the qualities of Guru. Those are the qualities of Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Govinda Maharaj. So those exclusive qualities that has an exclusive mood is what we have to focus on. Meaning the books of Srila Guru Maharaj, his instruction, his practicing method, etc. Alright. He said, we cannot sell ourselves in exchange for anything in the mundane world. In this regard, we can remember Srila Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur's advice that we must tolerantly try to serve Sri Guru Gauranga despite whatever may come. Love or rupture, meaning breakup, or anything may come, but we are to proceed in our track. That is very important. We're almost coming to an end. It's just only a couple pages and that's it. Next question. I have an inquiry about the worship of the Devas. Also, Guruji, it is wise for us to conduct Shraddha ceremonies for the non-devotees who have passed away? Srila Guru Maharaj replied, one who is a follower of the exclusive devotional line of Krishna consciousness as given by Srila Guru Maharaj as followers of the Rupanuga Sampradaya, he will not feel any necessity to engage himself for the purpose of any other god or demigod. This is our clear line. As primary support for this Krishna Seva conception, Śrīmad Bhagavatam says, Devarshi Bhutapta Nirmam Pitrinam. This shloka supports that one has no other necessity than to engage in Krishna service. For one who is living as a grihasta, if he will feel some obligation about Vedic society rules for his departed ancestors, he has some allowance in this way. He can offer Mahaprasad, read from 4 or 5 holy scriptures in front of Vaishnavas, offer 16 kinds of gifts to the Vaishnava gurus, hold a fire sacrifice as Vaishnava Homa, congregationally chant the Mahamantra, and make special offerings to the deities, then offer that Mahaprasad for the satisfaction of the Vaishnavas, and afterwards offer that Mahaprasad to the departed soul for the spiritual benefit of that soul. For the general people, if they faithfully follow the Vedic culture, they may be encouraged to become Vaishnavas. Next question. Should the Gayatri mantra be received by hearing through the right or left ear? I understand there is evidence in the scripture that says spiritual topics should be received through the left ear. But recently I heard you mention that the mantra should be received through the right ear. So the devotee is asking this question. From the right or from the left or the right ear to receive the Gayatri mantra? Let's see what Gurudev says. Regarding your question, I can say that generally the right ear is stronger than the left ear. It is true that King Puranjana heard through the right ear the South Pankala. That means the Karma Kanda, fruitive activities under guidance of the Vedas. And it is that plane that Puranjana entered. This is given in the shloka Śrīmad Bhagavatam. Canto 4, chapter 25, shloka 50. But in that shloka, another qualification is also given, that one can memorize very quickly. Jati shruta dharanvitaha. Just by once hearing, one can immediately memorize. In addition, Madhavacharya, or Sampradaya Guru, said that through karma kanda, the jiva soul may get a super chance by the karma. If good fortune, he gets the opportunity of the super servitors as devotee service. The left ear is a little weaker, and it is mentioned to be a symbol of Jnana Kanda. In Jnana Kanda, there is virtually no chance to get any service to the Vaishnava devotees due to the base ego. The final result they receive is Nirvishesha Shloka. But this position must be avoided. In Jnana Kanda, the main base is ego. Also, in some places we find the left ear is mentioned, but Srila Guru Maharaj instructed us to hear through the right ear. Therefore, we are following that process. All right, interesting question, interesting answer. That the right ear is stronger because it's karma kanda, fruitive activities under guidance of the Vedas, and it is that plane of that Puranjana entered. Only by hearing once, one can immediately memorize. Also, Madhavacharya or Sampradaya Guru said that through karma kanda, the jiva soul may get a super chance by the karma. If by good fortune he gets the opportunity of the super servitor as the body's service. Well, the left ear is a little bit weaker and is based in ego because it's Jnana Kanda. Okay, and last question of the Divine Guidance book, the last one. And then we'll be done reading this book, and we're going to read another one. Maybe Revealed Truth by Srila Govinda Maharaj. Yeah, maybe it's going to be that one. So what is the last question that the devotee is asking using a letter to Srila Gurudev? I am living so far away from the central mat. How can I understand there is any value in whatever little service I can do from here? Srila Gurudev replied, here in Navadvip, so many activities are going on, but all is for the satisfaction of Srila Guru Maharaj. Also, you can think it, that in the capital city of a country there are many duties that cannot be done there in the capital. The provinces, the smaller towns, and the villages all have their part to play in serving the center. They grow paddy, vegetables, etc., spin cotton, make fabrics and clothing, keep cows and produce milk, butter, yogurt, etc., as well as many other duties. In this way, all over the world, fortunate souls can engage in service to the central mission of Srila Guru Maharaj in unlimited ways. This varied service life to the center is the basis of the whole spiritual world of joyful activity. I'm going to read Srila Gurudev's response again. Here in Navadvip, so many activities are going on, but all is for the satisfaction of Srila Guru Maharaj. Also, you can think it, that in the capital city of a country there are many duties that cannot be done there in the capital. The provinces, the smaller towns, and the villages all have their part to play in serving the center. They grow paddy, vegetables, etc., spin cotton, make fabrics and clothing, keep cows and produce milk, butter, yogurt, etc., as well as many other duties. In this way, all over the world's fortunate souls can engage in service to the central mission of our Srila Guru Maharaj in unlimited ways. This varied service life to the center is the basis of the whole spiritual world of joyful activity. Divine guidance by His Divine Grace, Shri Swami Bhakti Sundar Govinda de Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. So, even if we're far away from a mat, from a temple, from the ashram, we still get a chance to serve. That is what Srila Gurudev is saying. We still have a chance by hearing, by by speaking about Krishna to others, by connecting to our gurus through their books, through their lectures, we can still engage in service even if we're far away. It's more difficult, of course, but it is still possible. All right. Thank you so much for being here, listening to us, engaging in service. Jai Mahaprabhu. And all right, we have a good mood now. We have a mood of service. We have these minds, these words now in our minds, hopefully in our hearts, and we have a better acquaintance with the environment in this day. What is the conclusion of this book? Well, maybe I'm not qualified to give a conclusion, right? But just remembering his words, his divine words, I may say, service. Sweet service, service, service. But in what mood? In the mood of surrender. To who? To Krishna? We don't really know what Krishna is. Precisely. We haven't realized it yet. It hasn't been revealed to us. To the Guru. Surrender to Guru. But this is still really challenging for us. We are conditioned souls. So, if we remain sincere, if we have this willpower to serve and to stand up after making mistakes and to recognize our faults, what we're doing, what we're not doing, and we continue in unity, because love is what harmonizes everything, not fear, not anger, not frustration. That doesn't bring unity. What brings unity is love. And love can be presented in empathy, in patience, in tolerance, in communication. Love harmonizes everything. So, if we can begin with ourselves, remembering the divine advice of Srila Gurudev. Srila Gurudev is amazing. He says, I don't like to go too complicated. What I just want to practice in this lifetime is be humble, be tolerant, and give honor to others. Simple formula, but effective. By applying that, let's see how the environment will harmonize and will reciprocate. Unity. Unity. We must remain united. And if we do not proceed by Srila Gurudev's order, by being humble, tolerant, and giving honor to others, we're not going to harmonize anything. We're just going to provoke separation. But it's difficult, I understand. And Srila Gurudev understands it better than anyone. It's difficult. We're conditioned souls. By His mercy, we're here, and we're trying once again. Once again. Srila Gurudev is giving us Srila Guru Maharaj. Jai Srila Gurudev ki Jai, Jai Srila Guru Maharaj ki Jai. Krishnaye Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Gopal Govinda Ram Shimadhusurana Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mokhana Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Ganadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Rupa Sanata Vata Raghunata Shri Diva Gopala Vata Dasa Raghunata Echai Gosai Tori Charana Vandana Jahamurte Vignana Shavista Purana Echai Gosai Jara Mohita Radhasa Tasavara Pada Renumura Panchayasa Radhiracharana Sevi Vatasane Vasa Janame Janame Morae Avilasa Echai Gosai Jave Vraje Koila Vasa Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakasa Anande Guru Hari Vaja Vrindavana Shri Guru Vaishnava Pare Mazai Jamana Anande Guru Hari Vaja Vrindavana Shri Guru Vaishnava Pare Mazai Jamana Shri Guru Vaishnava Para Panna Koriyasa Harinam Sankirtana Kopinara Tamadasa Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Goswami Maharaja Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Raka Srila Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai Or Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sari Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Radha Krishna Ki Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mission Ki Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai Cole Cartels Ki Jai all the assembled devotees Ki Jai Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari Om. My dear affection to Bhakti Boni, Didi, such a pleasure to see your messages honoring the holy names every day in the chat. And of course, Bhima Krishna Prabhu. What a pleasure, what a nectar is to see you guys every day this morning engaging in service. I hope you have a very happy day, no matter what. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in one of the songs, what? In the song of Atma Nivedana, Seva Sukha. Well, I don't remember the Bengali. I'm sorry, but it says both sorrow and joy are great riches. Like, if I encounter joy and sorrow in the service, they're both great riches because they destroy ignorance. So, if we're happy or we're sad, they're great riches. They destroy ignorance. Jai Gurudev, Jai Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki Jai. Have a great day, Bhima Krishna Prabhu and Bhakti Boni. Dandavat. Take care, dear devotees.